recording.
Static.
Yeah. Now, we're going to see something keyword called static. Now let's first see the content, then we'll go to the program, and again we'll come to the content.
Okay.
Now, static is a keyword and it can be applied to method, variable, and static block, and for inner classes. Okay, till now we haven't seen method, we have seen variables, we have seen, but we haven't seen block, and we haven't seen inner classes.
Yeah.
So block we will see now, inner classes we will see at the time of AWT. So that is the best place where we can learn inner classes.
What is AWT?
Abstract Window Toolkit. That is a GUI programming. That is app.
Okay.
That is a applet programming. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, okay, static can be applied to these kind of things. Now, what is the advantage of static? See, whenever I want to call a method, okay, what I have to do? I have to create an object, right?
Yeah.
If I apply static to a method, without creating an object, I can call a method.
Okay.
Okay, earlier what we are doing?
Creating object.
Yeah,
we were creating objects.
Object to call a method, right? Now you don't need to call a method if you make the method as static.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And static variable maintains the same value to all of the object of that class. Okay. That just will go over the points. Don't worry. Okay. Static block will be executed at the time of class loading, and all util methods be static. So we just went to the points. So out of which some of them, of course, we don't understand right now. What we need to do is we are going to do a program and come back to the same.
What is the util methods?
Yeah.
Later we'll come about it. Okay.
Yeah. Util method means you have some common methods like calculate sum, calculate subtraction. Like these are there. Suppose you have some methods, okay, which are common across your application. So if you keep that methods in one of your class, again you have to repeat the same method in other class to use it. Instead, we create one class. That class we call it as util class. Util class. In the util class, we keep all the common methods, and from the util class we call it. So whenever you write a util classes, all methods should be static.
Okay.
There is nothing different in normal classes to util classes. This is a real-time standard to maintain all the common and generic methods in one class, so that everybody understands, okay, this is a common class wherein I can get some common methods.
Okay.
In every application you will have some util classes. We will write some util classes, because if any new developer also comes to the company, suppose he requires some kind of a sorting functionality or some kind of a simple mathematical calculation or all, which is a generic method. So he will just type util, then see is there any util classes are available, and he'll go to the inside of the util classes and he will check for a method whatever he requires. So it is kind of a library. You can say it is kind of a library wherein you keep all the generic methods which are application specific.
Okay.
So those are called util methods. There is nothing different between normal class and util class. Only thing is, it is a standard of real time, keeping them in a separate way so that it is easy for everyone who comes new to the application. He can easily search is there any util class is there and go ahead with that. So whatever the util classes you write and whatever the method you write inside the util classes should be static.
Okay.
Now, static variable maintains the same value to all of the objects. So before understanding this point, we are going to do one program and we'll see this statement making sense or not.
Okay.
Now let's go to the program.
Static is a access specifier.
No, it's a keyword.
Okay.
It's a keyword. Don't get access specifier. You don't have something called access specifiers in Java. Okay?
Access modifiers.
Only we have access modifier, that is public, private, default, and protected. Only 4. That's it. Never, any other thing is not a access. Whatever we keep it, it is going to be a keywords.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I am going to create an object for person. This is no need of explanation, right?
Yeah.
This is simple. What we have already seen this.
Each.
Now I want to create one more object. What I'm going to do is I'm just copying this.
And make it person2.
Exactly. So person2 object also created. Correct?
Yeah, but different values?
Yeah.
The same value.
You can keep, you should keep, I mean, you can keep any value, but we are going to keep our example with different values.
Setting is something like giving an input. Getting is a like output.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Setting is something we are storing the value into the object.
Storing the value.
Heap memory we have seen, right? See, whenever, anytime when I say object, you should always remember that heap memory. Okay?
Yeah.
Whenever anybody says that object, okay, object will be stored in heap memory. I mean, that level you should be keeping it in mind.
Okay. The Java stack will have the location address.
Exactly.
The heap memory will have the object.
Yeah, this variable will be stored.
And its properties.
Person2, it will be stored in Java stack, and the real object space and their properties in the heap memory.
Okay.
Right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to print these values. Person. Name. This is also common, so that's why I'm not explaining it.
Yeah.
So if I want the same thing to the person2, let's just run it and print it once.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, there was a problem. Yesterday, I deleted Java from my system. Just give me a second. I'll set some settings.
Okay.
One application was not running with 1.7, so I had to install Java 1.6.
Okay.
So I'm setting it to 1.
No problem.
Yeah. Now it will run. Okay, anyhow, the situation came, right? See, whenever you get some kind of major minor version issue, okay, see, there is a standard, something like unsupported major dot minor version 51.0. This is a standard error. Suppose if we get like this, we need to see there is a Java version mismatch.
Okay.
We need to understand this. This is a in real time you get this error. Sometimes it is very difficult to identify this issue.
Okay.
Because we'll have so many classes which is making the problem. Simple thing is why we get this error is if you compile any class in 1.7, okay, and if you are trying to run the program in 1.6 or vice versa, version to version you are doing it, you will get this major minor version issue.
Okay.
Okay, so you need to do, you need to check you need to right click on the program, go to properties, and here something called Java compiler will be there. Click on this. Here you will see the compiler level. This
You
is
have to change the version there.
Yeah, you need to see. Here if you see JRE system library, right? Here my mouse pointer. JRE system library. What it is showing? JRE 6.
JRE 6.
That means Java 6 or Java 1.6. Okay, people will call it as Java 6 or Java 1.6. Java 7 or Java 1.7. This is standard. Okay. So whenever here it is 6, whenever 6 is there, you need to use 1.6 here. Okay, this is one place to change it. Another place is go to Window, open Preferences, and you need to go inside Java and Compiler. Then here also you need to change it to 1.6.
Okay.
Now run the program.
How will you know the version? This is 1.6. How will you know that
here
it was 1.7?
JRE 6.
Yeah.
JRE 6.
Okay.
6 is nothing. See, 6 is JRE 6 means 1.6. JRE 7 means 1.7. Clear?
Okay.
Because yesterday I deleted 1.7. Earlier it was like 1.7. Because some application I had to delete that, so I deleted it and I installed JRE 1.6. That's why we got this error. Okay, remember that major minor version. Usually you don't get it in normal simple programs. This will come only in terms of big programs, like in real time only it will come. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Now you got the reason, right? Why we get a minor version? Because of the mismatch of the versions. Now, okay, it got printed. That is good.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to add see, if you see this properties are going to be independent of each object. That means person 1 objects, person 1 properties are related to person 1 only, and person 2 object values are related to person 2 only. Now, I want to create a property which should be common across all the properties, just like a global variables in C. What is the global variable concept? Everywhere you can access.
Everywhere, yeah, you can access.
The same way, for person class, I want to create a property which should be common across all the objects. Either it could be person 1 or person 2. It should be common across. So what I have to do, I'm going to here. I will define one property, any property. Okay. What property we can define? For a person, what should be the common actually for person's object? Anything we can think of it, no problem.
Maybe company name.
Okay, let's okay. We'll just for timing we just keep it like this. So you need to keep static here in front of company name. If you keep static, this is going to be a static variable. If you see this, it become italic, right?
Yeah.
Italic. So that is the ID facilities. That if it is in italic, you can come to know that okay, it is a static variable.
Oh.
Okay. If it is in normal in blue color, then it is going to be instance variable.
Okay.
And if you write any variable inside a method, it will be in a black color, normal. Okay. So this is the way you can identify directly.
If a variable is written inside a class, it's an instant variable.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. But if it is a static, then that is not an instance variable. We call it as class variables. If it is a static.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm going to say person one dot. What is the value? What is that we have set? Company name, right? Company name equal to
Company name.
company name equal to something. We'll just keep it. Okay. I just typed some random name. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I want to print a company name for person one. The same way, I want to print a company name for person 2. Did I set any company name to person 2?
Yeah. Person 2, you didn't mention company name.
Right. But let's see once. What happened? For person 2 also?
Okay, same.
Yeah. That means we have created a property which is common across all the objects. Right?
Okay.
So that's what. If you keep static, the property is going to be stored in a common place and it is going to be referred by all the objects. Okay? Let's see the pictorial. Let's see the pictorial view. So this is your object and that is person 1 and this is person 2. And this is the age and this is first name, last name, same way age, first name, last name. But static value will be stored here and you have a reference of the static value here and here as well, which are going to be referred from the object like this. It is going to be referred from a common place. But whereas other properties are different. If I change it here, this won't be affected. If I change it here, this won't be affected. But for a static variable, if I change it here, all the objects are going to be affected because it is in the common area. It is in the common area. If I have one more object, same way, for person, if I have one more object, that is also going to be referred the same way. So that means how many objects you are going to create it, it is common across all the objects. Static variable. Correct?
Okay. Yeah.
Now let's go to the PPT point. The third point. Static variable maintains same value to all the objects of that class. Make sense?
Yeah.
Right. Now, without creating the object, second point, without creating the object, class variables can be accessed using class name. Okay. So for static variables, see, if you want to access any normal variable, you need to create a object. Correct? But static variable.
What I was asking is, the company name is set only to the first object.
Right.
Can I mention company name as a class variable as a static, and would that be applied for person 1 and person 2 as well?
Where you want to say?
Like for example, before the main method, company name is equal to SDFEG.
Wait, before the main
And
method is,
then print the,
you want to do company name?
yeah,
Right.
I want to declare it there as
Okay.
static.
Company name, some name,
Where was the declaration then?
this is
It's
what
in
you
the
wanted to do?
person.
This one you want to do?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is your
Now
point here?
print the person one company name.
You don't want to set it here?
Yeah, I don't want to set it here. I want to print it there.
How come it will print? Right? See, the company name, whatever you have defined, that is an instance variable of a class name called static example. This is not having any relationship with person object.
Okay.
Okay. Even though you define it as a static, this is having a relationship with static example class, not with person class. If you try to print it, let's print it. See.
Yeah, I want to print it.
Yeah, it is showing null because
Null.
you have not set any value. By default, the company name is a string, right? Company name is string. The default value of string is null. The default value
Okay,
of
if you set it here.
Here.
Yeah, you see.
If you set it
Go to
here,
SDF and then print there.
it is going to print.
Still null?
No, it is going to print the value.
Yeah, yeah.
It's going to print the value because you are setting the value, right? You don't need to.
I don't want to set it here. I want to set it there.
You want to set it here?
Yeah.
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 If
this was the one I was
That's true. If you set it here, that's good. But sometimes static variable you want to change it. Even though it is common across, I want a changed value to common all the values. Then you need to go ahead with this way only, right? See, okay, you are saying some default values there. I didn't say that value never be changed. That value bit can be changed, but the changed value will be reflected to all the objects. Okay? Now, one more thing is, the way we are accessing a static variable is wrong. We should never ever access static variable with object reference. We should access it with class name. We should access it with class name. That's why you are seeing this warning message here. Whenever you get this warning message, you can go there, right click, say quick fix, then it will show some fixes here. Okay. So what it is saying, create getter and setter for the company name. That is one fix, but which we are not interested. Change the access to static.
Second option.
Yeah, using person, declaring type. If you click this, see it became with.
It will become person dot company.
Right. Yeah. But whereas you cannot do for other things because those are instant variables. They are not class variables. Why we have to access with class? Because this is a class variable. Static variables are class variables. So here also you need to do the same thing. You will same thing. But yeah, the thing is, for all the objects, that is going to be common. Okay. So as it is common, don't call it with object, directly call it with class name. Now we'll see one more point. Now without creating for this you don't need to create an object at all. You can write this single statement without creating an object because we are not using object anywhere. Okay.
Yeah.
Now inside a person class, I'm going to write one static method. Earlier we require creation of an object to call a method because which was not static. So now if I keep static with the class name directly, I can call that method. Person dot print numbers. Okay. Person dot print numbers. See here also it became italics.
Okay.
So without creating an object,
Yeah.
you can call a method because this method also belongs to the class members. It is not a object member. If you define anything, it's related to the class and it can be called from the class. Now, one more thing. Here, I am going to keep something called static. So this is called static block, which is going to be executed before the object is created. Before the object is created, this is the one which it is going to be executed.
Okay.
Okay. So what is the use of this? Okay. Basically, static will be useful for initialization works. Before your application is running, you want to do some kind of initialization work, or before your application is getting loaded onto the server or something, then you want to do some kind of initialization work. Basically, the static block is used for initialization work. You need to have some kind of setup, and that setup also should be dynamic. Then we have to use static. Don't worry, we will see the example of static in JDBC. The perfect example in real time where exactly we use this static, we can come to know in JDBC. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Now go through the PPT. Let me know if you don't understand any point.
Yes. Static can be applied to method, variable, block, as in.
Only leave out the inner
Okay,
classes
that will
as
come across.
yeah.
Okay. Without creating the object, class variables can be accessed that we saw, and static variable maintains the same value. Static block will be executed at the time of class loading. Yeah, like you just now showed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is clear, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Now let's go to
What
the
will be mentioned in the static block is the variables declaration, right?
not exactly. See, for any application, you need some kind of configuration. I mean, see what kind of database you are using, okay, and what kind of web services you are going for, and this kind of initialization work we have to do. We have to do some integration, right? See, whenever you do some kind of integration with Java to any third party, at that time you have to do some initialization work, which we usually do in static block.
Okay.
Make sense or confusion?
Yeah. No, got it.
Got it, right? Right.
Yeah.
No. You'll get a clear example in JDBC. I mean, without static block, we don't write it.
Okay.
Coming to the final keyword. These two are very much important. Static and final is important. Okay. Now, the same way, final can be applied to methods, variables, and classes. If the class is final, then it cannot be extended by any other class. That means we are
inherited. It cannot be inherited.
Exactly. Now, if the method is final, that cannot be overridden by any other child class. So we are stopping the dynamic polymorphism. Final variable cannot be changed once it is defined. So that means once we define one final variable, that's it. You cannot change it.
The value cannot be changed.
Right. Now, final keyword is the key resource in making the classes immutable. Okay. Something called immutable is there.
Is it?
Yeah. Final keyword is the key resource in making the class as immutable. So out of this, the last point is one thing confused you, right?
Yeah.
So for this, you want me to, for the first 4 points, you want me to write a program and show you, or is it fine with it?
No, it should be okay. I understood.
Right. Good. Now, what is immutable, right? That is the question. Now let's see what is immutable objects. Now, immutable objects never change their status. Okay. Does the object have a status?
Okay.
Does the object has a status? And if it is yes, what is the status actually? That we need to understand. So status is nothing but the properties. All the properties constitutes a status. That means suppose if you create a person object with ABC, BBC and 27 as the age and first name, last name. So that means combining all of this, that is a person status. Got it?
Okay.
Right? Now, what it is saying is, once you have defined it as person 1 equal to ABC, BBC, 27, that's it. For an immutable object, you cannot change it. Usually we can change the values, right? Usually for person object, we can change the values. But if you make the person object as immutable, if you want to make the person object as immutable, then it cannot be changed.
Okay.
So now, all the properties belongs to immutable class are private. You should not make default protected and public for any property. You should keep all the properties as private. I mean, if you want to build a immutable object, how the class structure should be. How the class structure. So inside a class, you should not have any variables apart from private. Okay?
Okay.
Now next, examples. Already Java given examples like string and integers are the immutable objects. Okay.
Okay.
So what is the advantage? Why should I go for immutability concept? So these are basically by default thread safe. So to understand thread safe, again we need to discuss something about threads. But of course, as part of advantages, I have to keep it here. So I just kept it here. Just think that okay, these are thread safe. We will discuss this thread safe functionality in threads. Okay.
Okay.
But immutability concept is that we have to go for, if you want to go for a thread safe, we have to make the object as immutable. I mean, there are some ways, but this is also one way. Now,
can you repeat this immutable objects once again?
Yeah, no problem. We'll see a program. Okay. We are not going, this is not only a theory thing. Okay. We are going to see for each point. Again, we'll come up with a program and we'll come back to the same and we'll see, discuss, and let me know if you still get any doubt. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
The next point is the next advantage. Immutable objects are used as a key for hash map and hash table. Again, this is a collection concept. So we need to go for collection for this. Okay. So see, we'll see today only immutable objects, but their advantages, the topic, when the topic comes in, I'll show the advantages. Okay.
Okay.
Now, these are the best example for encapsulation. This should be known at least. You should know this one because we are making all the properties as private. That's nothing but an encapsulation. We are hiding it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that means these are the best examples for encapsulation. So here, the point we need to understand is when you make immutability for an object, that means you have to build a class in such a way that it is going to, whenever you create an object of that class, it is going to be immutable. That means never be changed. Mutable and immutable. The person object which we have created, it's a mutable object. Now we are going to make we are going to create one employee object which is going to be immutable. That means it is not going to be changed in such a way that we have to write a class so that it is not going to be changed. Okay. Now let's see. We'll do a program and come back to the same PPT once again, and let's see. I'm going to create an employee object. I can make the person class itself, but it should be there for your reference. I mean, person class should be there for your reference for other programs. That's why I'm creating an employee class. There is no difference. Okay. And I'm going to create private int empid. Private. So now I'm going to create a main class for employee. Let's create an object for employee.
Okay.
So can we set any properties to the employee?
Yes.
Can we set any properties to the employee?
Yes. Employee dot any name is equal to or set using setters and getters.
That's okay, but I did not give any setters and getters. With current structure of the employee class, can I do anything to it? See, current class structure is this. Once again, let me open employee class. So this is the employee class. With this current structure,
no, you can't because it has private.
Right, we cannot do it, right? Okay. Now,
Yeah.
I want to. If I provide setter method, what is going to happen?
Using the variables declare.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide setters and getters.
Okay.
Now what I can do? I can set correct?
Yeah.
So I did it. I did this one. Now let me print this false. So this is fine, right? This is no need of explanation. This is simple, which we are doing every class. Now, what I'm going to do is employee dot set employee ID something else. Now I'm going to print it again. I'm going to print it again. So what's going to happen if I run this? For the same employee, you will see two different employee IDs, right?
Yeah. Right.
So that means the employee object is mutable. That means at any point of time, you can change the status, that nothing but properties of an object.
Okay.
That means this is a mutable object. Now, how do we make the employee object as immutable. Now I'm going to remove the setter methods. I'm going to remove the setter. Okay, let it be. Okay. What if no? Let's keep that for a moment. Now, how do I set a values apart from setter method to an object? Apart from setter method, is there any way to set the values to a employee object? By using a constructor we can do it, right? We have done constructor. Remember?
Okay, I am not sure.
We haven't do constructor?
You didn't explain constructor.
Oh, okay. Okay, now we'll see. There is a concept called constructor. What exactly a constructor? See, if you see this employee with brackets is nothing but a constructor. Okay, you can ask me. If I go here, there is no constructor defined because that is a default constructor. If you don't define any constructor, the JVM is going to by defaultly give that constructor. But see, construct it is same like method only. It is same like method only, little bit different. Now, here you are not expecting a constructor which is not default. We want a constructor with all these parameters, so that at the object creation time, I want to create with properties. Okay, let's see example. So how do I create a constructor? Right click, source, generate constructor using fields. Click on that, select all of them. Okay. So this is the structure of a constructor. See, constructor usually start with the same name of the class. Construction name should be same as class name, and it should not have return type. Okay. Here. Now, if you see
may I know what is that? This and super.
What is that? Okay. This and
this
super.
Keyword and super keyword.
Okay. Time being, just keep it that way. I'll explain once this. Let the immutability concept is over. I will explain what is this and what is super. Okay.
Okay.
Now, for the constructors, I am going to create a parameters constructor. So once I created here, see if I go to the class, I am getting an error here. Why? Earlier it used to work. Now if I created a constructor, now it is not working. Because if there is no constructor defined inside a class, then JVM by default provides the constructor. But if you define any other constructor which is parameterized, that means you are sending a parameters to the constructor, then JVM doesn't provide any default constructor. Now it's your responsibility. Now it's your responsibility to create a default constructor. So again, right click, source, generate constructors from superclass. Just say object. Now you get this constructor. Okay. Now if you go to the class, compilation gone. Correct?
Yeah.
So if you are not defining this constructor, by default this will be created by JVM. But if you define any other constructor, it's your responsibility to create a default constructor. Otherwise you cannot create an object with default constructor. So This is about constructors. But to make the class as immutable, you should not create a default constructor.
Okay.
You should not create a default constructor. Okay, here we are getting an error. So instead of using a default constructor, you set the values. What is the employee ID? 12323, comma employee name ABC, comma employee last name ABC. See, if you do like this,
okay, they're passing the values.
yeah, you don't need to set the values here.
Okay.
Okay, you don't need to set the values. Now let's run the program once again. See, there is no difference in the output, even though you set it to setter methods or you are sending from a constructor, you don't find anything difference. Correct?
Oh.
Now,
Yeah.
what is happening is, once employee is created, when I say set method, it is subjected to mutable. So if I want to make employee object as immutable, then I have to take out all the setter methods.
Oh.
I should not give any setter method inside a class. Okay, I should not do any setter method. So then this will not be allowed. That means you have to take out this. That is not allowed. That means what happens once your object is created? Once your object is created, it is no more subjected to changes. It is no more subjected to changes.
Okay.
So only once your object is created, that's it. That object is you cannot change it. You can only access the values with getter methods. You cannot change the values. You cannot change the values. Suppose you can say that I want to change the values with I want to use different object. Then create a new object. Employee equal to new employee. Then create a new object. Some employee.
Shouldn't it be class name employee is equal to new employee?
What is that?
At the first.
Already
first?
That is already we have defined, right?
Okay, you are giving different values.
See, you already defined this one, right? I mean, see, let me show you how it is. Suppose if I say int I equal to 0, okay, and somewhere in the program, if I'm going to set a value to I have to set it like this. I should not write again int, right? Then what is going to happen? It is going to say that duplicate local variable. So you need to define only one time. So that's why here also we are defining only one time. Okay?
Okay.
So what is actually...
But is it a different object or the same object having different values?
Now I'm going to show the pictorial view. Okay? Now, now this one. Okay? Now, this is your stack. This is your heap. Now there is something called employee, and this is the first object which we have created. This is the second object which we have created. So first I'm going to the code. When this line is executed, when the 9th line is executed, what is going to happen inside is there is a relationship between this one and this one is created.
Both the objects.
Correct, right?
Yes.
Now this is executed. 11th, 12th lines are executed. Now go to the 14th line. When this line is executed, what is going to happen is this relation is going to be no longer exist, and this is going to be related to this. That means you are not changing the object. Whenever you require a change of an object, you are creating a new object.
Okay.
So what is happening is, if you do change, we will only end up creating one object. But with this immutability concept, we are creating more number of objects, which in turn we are taking more memory. Is it advantageous or disadvantageous? We are taking up more memory. So, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
how it is advantageous? Why do we need to require this concept? Even though it is taking up time and more memory, as I said, that is required for thread safe and to be used as a hash map keys and hash table keys. So if we know threading and collection, then we'll come to know whether it is required or not. Even though, even though it is giving less performance, I require it, right? If I require it, I have to go ahead it, right? I have to go for it.
Yeah.
Then there is no functionality will be achieved. And one more thing, even though that is also not a problem, because this object is going to be garbage collected. Once this reference is cut, this object is going to be garbage collected. I mean, it is going to stay for in milliseconds only. Yeah, it's going to be stay for in milliseconds only. Okay, so that much performance drawback, it's okay. For me, it is allowed because I want to achieve the functionality. If I see the if I am looking at the performance, I will not get the functionality, right? So I want a functionality that object never be changed. If at all, if I want to change object, I'm going to create a new object, but I'm not going to change the existing object. Now, so you got it right? What exactly this is?
Yes.
Now, you need to keep one more thing, that this employee class should be final. This employee class should be final. Because people extend this class and they can make the changes to these objects, these variables. So instead of that, you make that class not to be extended. This is the proper implementation of a immutable class. So for any immutable class, if you create any object, that becomes immutable object. It cannot be mutable.
Okay, got it.
Clear?
Yeah, got it. Yes.
Right. Now, let's go on to the PPT once again on the immutable objects. Now, immutable object never changes their status. Making sense, right? First point. First point.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, next thing is
immutable object never changes. Yeah.
Right. The second point is all properties belongs to immutable class are private. So we kept it all at private. An example, string and integer.
All are private.
Yeah. So as we are using private, these are the best example for encapsulation. Correct?
Yeah.
So the remaining 2 points we will be understanding when the concepts comes. When collection comes in, we will understand the 5th point. When the thread comes in, we will understand the 4th point. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah.
So any doubts till now?
No, it's clear.
Right. Okay. We will see this concept now and we'll wind up the class. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
No. Abstract classes contains methods. See, we have seen immutable class and immutable object. Now we'll see abstract class and interface. What are those?
Okay.
So now, basically, if you are creating a class with different structures, that will become immutable class or abstract class, something like that. Interface. Now, abstract classes contains methods with declaration and definition as well, but interface contains only method declaration. Okay. Let's go to the point. No problem. Just read out the points and we'll see. So we cannot create an object for abstract class. For immutable class, we can create an object, right?
Yes.
But abstract classes, you cannot create an object. Why? We'll come to know. For interface also, you cannot create an object. Next. Both can put restrictions on their extended or implemented classes. Okay. Let's go ahead with that. By default, variables inside the interface are final. So usually if you want to define any variable as final, you need to keep a final keyword. But if you define any variable inside a interface, by default it will become final. You don't need to specifically say that it's a final variable. It will become final variable.
Okay.
Now, interface provides security by not providing the implementation details of a class, but it can provide the facility to call their methods. Okay. So out of which, I think we are fine with only 1 or 2 points, right?
Yeah.
Now, let's write the program and come back, see whether all of them are making sense or not, right? This is the way we can make it out. Before what we learn, after the program, whether we are learning something or not, we can come to know.
Yeah, right.
Right? So now, let's go into the creating a abstract class. So I'm going to create something called a class. Class called animal class. Most people use this example, so let's use the same example. Now, for what are all the properties for an animal class?
Name of the animal.
Shall I call it as right? Type of animal.
Yeah, type of animal. Yeah.
Next. Color.
Color.
Anything else we can keep?
Type of animal. Color.
Okay. Leave it. These are fine. Now.
Yeah.
Now what I want to do is I want to write some behaviors for animals. Public void eat is the behavior.
Yeah.
Correct? Hello?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So now I want to create subclasses for animal. Okay, I'm going to create subclasses. I'm going to create it here itself. In the same file you can create subclasses. You don't need to create one more file. Okay?
Okay.
What I'm doing, land animals extends animal. Okay, land animals are elephants and those stuff. Okay, like go for then what are the other terms?
Yeah. Water animal, sea animal.
So now here what I would like to do is, if you see, eating of a fish and eating of a elephant is same or different?
Different.
Right? So that's why what we have to do, public void each and So here also we have to override the method, and here also public void each correct.
Yeah.
So whatever the methods in the parent class, for all the methods, if you are writing in your child classes, if you are overriding in your child classes, suppose if this is a case, think that this is a case. So for each child class, I am going to override the method, because the each method is not common. The each method is not common for all the animals. That's why I had to go for each method separately, defining again overriding inside each class, each subclass. Then defining of this each method here of no use, because I'm not going to create anytime animal class object. Either I have to create a land animal class object or sea animal class object, but I never created animal class object. So in that case, what is the use of creating this each method? What is the use of creating this each method? Then there is no use, because even though it is not there, every other child class it is having the method. Correct? Yeah. Correct? So in that cases, if I take it out, that's good, it will work. But I want to so I take it out, this is going to work. But what is going to happen is, I may miss writing the eat method for my animal. I will write everything, but I may miss by accidentally, I may miss my writing of animal eat method. You may think that here it is only a simple method we can write, but in real time you will have 1,000 methods, and you will have 20 to 30 subclasses, more than that. So out of 20, for one class you may miss writing one method, right? It is obviously, it is possible that you can miss some methods. Yeah. So now the thing is, the parent class should not define each method, first point. Next thing is, it should restrict the child classes to define each method. There are two requirements in front of us. One is, parent class should not define it because there is no use. Second is, whatever the classes are implementing or extending this class should compulsorily define the each method. Then it is that you need to declare the each method. So how do you declare? Public void each. You should not keep
any. Okay, nothing in practice.
1 second. Thus method requires. Okay, yeah, I got it. So this is the way you have to define it. You should not write any flower braces. Okay, this is declared. But barely, you cannot declare just like that. You should have compulsorily braces. If you want, even though this is, if you want to declare, you have to use something called a keyword called abstract. Okay. If you use abstract keyword in front of a method, then you can declare a method. But still it is giving compilation, because
abstract.
Whenever you have one abstract method in a class, the class should be abstract. Whenever you have one abstract method, the class should be abstract. So whenever the keyword is abstract in front of the class, that becomes an abstract class. Okay? Clear? Or any confusion? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Sorry, your voice is totally breaking. Hello?
One second. Your voice also breaking. 1 second.
Yeah.
Is it clear now?
Yeah.
Right. So here we have to define we should not define a method, but we have to declare it. We have to declare it, and to declare it we need an abstract keyword in front of a method.
Abstract keyword.
Yeah, if the method is abstract, then the class should be abstract.
Okay.
When there is a keyword, right? So now, if you are trying to miss out this, oh, sorry. Suppose if you are missing out this, then it will give you a comparison. Say that the type language must implement the inherited abstract method animal.eat. So it will say that you have to definitely implement this method. So that way it will restrict on its subclasses to create certain kind of rules. What is a rule? Animal means it must eat. This is a rule. If you have something creating an animal, that it should be eating. So that's why we are creating a rule. Suppose, likewise, what are other rules we have to keep? Abstract, public, abstract, void. Any other rule we can keep it for for animals.
Type of food.
That's what eating only comes in. Sleeping, we'll say.
Yeah. Okay.
Sleeping also should be there. Now see, you will get all the errors because you need to implement sleeping. Now it will go. It will say add unimplemented methods. Click on this. You will get a method sleeping. Here also you will get a method sleeping. So you have to implement them according to the type of animal. Land animal sleep on some kind of a. You just need to see where just you need to implement what you want to implement it.
Yeah.
Just something I just written it. Some error is coming. Why it is giving error? We just need to see. Remove abstract. Didn't give any method body, right? Okay. Instead of a semicolon, there was a colon. I mean, it was a small typo mistake.
Yeah.
See. Now, I'm going to write a main method inside of this class.
Okay.
Now, if I want to create an object for an abstract class, that means animal equal to new animal. See, if I say this one, what it is going to say? Cannot instantiate the type animal. So we cannot instantiate the type animal because it is an abstract class.
Okay.
But what is the use of abstract class? Here, any common method for all the animals, public, void, any common method for animals, just said hearing.
Any other common method?
Hearing, we just say that some here.
Sense, yeah.
Sense or hearing, whatever, yeah, correct. So sys out, just we say that hearing. So in abstract class, you can define a concrete method. Concrete method means method which has a definition.
Okay.
This is a method declaration only. It's only method declaration. But here you have the definition also. Definition means you're writing whatever you're writing in the flavor process. It has declarations as well as definitions.
Okay.
But you cannot create an object of it. So if you are not able to create an object of it, what is the use of this class? We can create an object of these child classes. Right?
Yeah.
So that's what.
Sure.
Right. Now, this is good. But if your class is having all different methods, if your abstract class is not having one single common method also, it does not have one single common method also. So think that there is a scenario that you will not have one single method which you can define as a common. Don't worry, these abstract classes and interfaces we will define when we are doing a JDBC and when we are doing an advanced Java course. We will go with all the abstract classes and interfaces. We cannot write without that.
Okay. Yeah.
Because standard. Okay. That is a real-time example there we will see. But this is all simple example. Okay. Now, if you have all the methods are abstract, instead of defining a class, you can go for defining an interface. So the syntax, the same way, I will say animal INF. Animal INF. It is nothing but an interface.
Okay.
Okay. Instead of a class, you need to create an interface. Go to here, say instead of a class, click on interface. So animal INF. So this is done. So instead of a class here, we will see interface.
Okay.
Just copy all of these here till here to here.
Yeah.
Now you need to delete this. Need to delete this, and it's giving some error. Remove invalid modifiers. Thing is, in the interface, you should not have the blank type of variables. Okay, you have to define the value here.
Any value?
Yeah.
In interface, you're not supposed to define, right?
No, you should supposed to define, because I said right, whatever the values inside a interface are going to be by default final. So whenever any variable is final, that should be defined at the time of declaration itself.
Okay.
Okay, that's why these two are not make sense here. We will see how to declare a variables inside a interface later. Okay. And now if you see, we have removed the abstract keyword. We have removed abstract keyword even though they are working fine, because the interface is for only declaring the methods. You cannot define the methods here. If you want to define a method, you have to go for abstract class. Okay.
Abstract class.
Right.
Got it.
So if you say here, what is the advantage of interface? I can use abstract class. In future, there is any common method I find it, I can write inside abstract class. But I cannot, suppose if I define something like interface, I cannot write in future if at all I get any method which is common, which I want to define in the parent classes.
Okay.
So what is the advantage of interface? The problem is in Java doesn't support multiple inheritance with classes. Multiple inheritance with classes. This is called a diamond problem. Let's see a little bit of pictorial view. Something like a diamond problem. Okay. The thing is, this thing that this is a class A, okay, which has some method called one method called add method. Okay.
Yeah.
and think that
Yeah.
this is a class B and this is a class C. Now, if class A is extended by class B and class A is extended by class C, then what is going to happen? Here also I have overridden the add method. Here also I have overridden the add method.
Yeah.
Right? Now, class B,
Yes.
there is a
Yeah.
class B which is extending class B and class C. Okay? Then what is the method it is
Yeah.
going to come here? Whether it should come from B or it should come from C. So this problem arises because of the multiple inheritance. That's why Java doesn't support
Oh,
this inheritance concept.
multiple inheritance.
Yeah, this is not
Okay.
supported in Java. Okay?
Okay.
But
Yeah.
because here method implemented, here also method implemented. Suppose here method just declared, here method just declared. There is no body for the method. Then it is better, right? I can implement a body here. See, if it is a class, here method defined. Method has some 5 to 6 lines. Here also method has 5 to 6 lines. Suppose here just method declared, here also method just declared. There is nothing definition. Then if I extend both of them, then I can define it here, right?
Yeah, right.
So Java does support multiple inheritance only with the use of interfaces.
Okay.
Because you will not get this kind of clash. Because there is no implementation here, there is no implementation here. If there is implementation here and here, there is a problem. That's why the same example, if you take out with the interfaces, then it will work. Because here we are going to implement it. We are going to have only one. There is no, there is no controversy. Right? Which one to go for it? Nothing, because there is no definition here and here. We are doing it here.
Got it.
So that's the reason we need interfaces. Okay, if you go everything with the classes, there is a problem in multiple interactions. So this problem is called diamond problem. Okay?
What? Sorry?
Diamond problem. This looks like a diamond, right? Okay. I mean, this looks like this structure looks like a diamond, right? That's why it's called diamond problem.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Now, come to the PPT once again. Now, first see, abstract classes contains methods with declaration and definition as well, but interface contains only method declaration. Making sense?
Okay.
And for both of them, we cannot create an object. If you try to create an interface object, it will not be created. Because see, the abstract classes or interfaces are not the concrete classes. Those are not fully defined. So creating an object for them, it is not a proper. That's why Java restricted the creation of objects for abstract classes and interfaces.
Okay.
Okay. Now both can put restrictions on their extended or implemented classes. True? Correct, right? Now, by default, variables inside the interface are final. We have seen without definition, it is not allowing inside the interface. If you just declare it, it will not allow. Because final variables, you cannot declare it just like that. You have to define it.
That's right.
Now, interface provides security by not providing implementation details of the class, but it can provide the facility to call their methods. Keep this point till your JDBC started. You will understand what is.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So for PPT I have to keep it, so all the points I just kept it, but some of the points when the time comes you'll definitely understand the things. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Because you can ask any doubt at any point of time. Suppose if you are discussing at the end, we are in advanced Java, you got some doubt in core Java, we can very well discuss that. Because the concepts are that much related. You cannot you cannot define it independently. Okay? Correct?
Yeah, right.
So that's what. So let's wind up the call. It's almost I took more time of yours because I said right on the first day itself. Whenever we are in mid of a class we will extend the class.
Yeah, I understand. No problem.
Right. So,
Okay.
right. So this is about abstract classes, static and final and immutable classes. If you have any doubts, I can take it up, or we can wind up the call.
Yeah, no doubts for now. I'm clear with it.
Right. Okay. Let's. We have some more concepts coming in. Maybe we need to discuss one more day or more than that. So on the object-oriented features, then we'll go to collections.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay then.
and just one request from I won't be able to attend the class tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll be traveling out of town.
Okay.
Can we start with this on Monday if it is okay with you?
Yeah. Monday of your time or my time?
Yeah.
Who? Me and
Monday, I think Tuesday of
Yeah. That's
your
what.
time,
That is
right?
what.
Or how?
Yeah. You want to go for Saturday, Sunday of your time, right? Basically.
Like I'm okay with it will be Tuesday morning for you and it is Monday night for me.
Yeah. I got it. Right. Fine. So for me, the class will be.
Just for this week. Then after that, I am okay with Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. So basically, we'll have a class on 4th. Your 3rd, I guess.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. 4th, right? Tuesday. Fine.
Yeah.
My Tuesday.
Yeah.
Right. That's okay.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay then. Chalo. Bye.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.